श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेशतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। We are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, canto 10, chapter 52, verse number 1. So in the previous chapter we studied the story of Kalyavan's attack on Mathura and then Krishna running away from Mathura to where Muchkunda was sleeping, and then how Kalyavan was burnt to ashes by the look of Muchkunda, and then Muchkunda's prayers to Krishna and his boon. So now in this chapter describes how Krishna will go to Dwaraka being attacked by Jarasandha, and then marriage of Balram and Rukmani sending message to Sri Krishna.
There's a question in the chat from Anuradha Devi Dasi. She writes, last class we heard Krishna telling Muchukunda that he must do some penance for animal killing and thereafter take birth in a Brahmana family. Muchukunda is surrendered to Krishna. Why didn't Krishna just tell him truthfully? Why the pretense?
Tell the truth. What truth? What is the truth?
That he was down very out of place.
Big, and he does not match in the Rāsa-līlā of Krishna.
Okay, so if he told, then what will happen? Anyway, that is how Vishwanath Chakravarti explained. So who knows what Krishna's thought was? This is commentator explaining. No, it is not 100% that this is exactly what Krishna was thinking. Mam tu vedana kasyana. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says nobody knows me. So commentators try to give explanation, because the question can come in somebody's mind that why he did not take him with him. He is a devotee and he prayed to him and he wanted service to his feet, so why he did not take? So he gives one explanation, that this is the reason. So there can be another explanation if you can think of another one. We see this many times. Slokas are there, different commentators give different explanations according to their understanding. So if he told that you will not match, then he may feel, what is this? He may say that, well, doesn't matter, I will talk to them, or who knows what he would have said. But now he said that you have to do tapasya. And there may be another purpose behind it. Like there is a statement in Chaitanya Charitamrita that when Bhagavan does something, it looks like he is doing one thing, but he may be doing 5, 6, 7 things simultaneously. Doing means trying to achieve. So he may also want, because he will go to Badrika Ashram as we will read, so he may probably want that he gives his Sangha to people there, or it's like he sent Uddhava. So maybe reason.
But in the Bhakta Marga, I think it is explained in Navadas that Muchukunda birth as Narasimha Mehta in Gujarat, because he was also one of the best topmost Brahmana there.
Yeah.
And they are taking these last verses from that as a Pramana.
Yeah, that is also there, but what was he doing in between?
This question was remains. Because even Balaram's wife, initial first when that king went to Brahma, when he came back, his wife, she was also so tall. And Lord Balaram with his plow brought her down to the regular size. So why couldn't Krishna do that also to Muchukunda?
Yeah. So there was a famous devotee in Gujarat, his name is Narsi Mehta. Narsi Mehta. Have you heard his name? So you can read about him. People believe that he is the one who was Muchukunda in his past life. It's the belief. Okay. Sri Shuka Uvacha, Sri Shukdev said, Itham sonugrhitonga Krishnena ikshvakunandanaha tam parikramya sannamya nischakram guhamukhat. So when Muchukunda was blessed like this, O dear Parikshit, by Sri Krishna, Muchukunda, the son of Ikshvaku, then he circumambulated him and then bowed down to him, and then he came out of the cave. Guhamukhat nischakrame. Came out means he went out. So because Krishna already ordered him that you go out. So there is hardly any comment on this. So there is a sloka in which he summarizes this chapter. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti. Divi panchashat tame vairir durlaksha harer girehe pravarsanasya dahascha bhashmi sandesha vakshruti. So in this 52nd chapter there is a description how Krishna, he will run away again, second time, from Mathura, and he will go on top of a mountain along with Balram, Pravarshan mountain, and then from there they will jump down because Jarasandha will put fire to the mountain, and then from there he will go to Dwarka, and then there will be message sent by Rukmani through a Brahmana that he should come and marry. So you have connection because my connection dropped. You have?
Yes, yes.
People can hear?
Yes.
Okay. Saviksha kshullakan martyan pashun viroda vanaspatin matva kaliyugam praptam jagame dushamuttaram. So when he came out, he had a surprise. And the surprise was that everything looked very small to him. It's like if you go to America first time and then you come back to India, all the roads look so small here. Doesn't happen often once you have been once, but when I came first time, everything looked so different. Especially the roads and the houses, they looked very small. So he saw that everything is so small. The human beings are very small. Animals, trees, plants. He says, what is this? So then he understood that Kali Yuga has come. So Kali Yugam praptam jagame dashamuttaram. So he understood that there is Kali Yuga here, and then he went to the northerly direction. You can reduce the temperature a little bit, people are sweating. So now there is a question which is raised that we hear that Kali Yuga started when Krishna left. Right? You might have heard this. So how is that Kali Yuga came when Krishna is still here on earth? There are many statements, especially in, I think, 11th canto, also in 12th, that as long as Krishna was on earth, Kali Yuga did not come. So the description, there is sloka, yavat sapad padmabhyam sprasanaste ramapati tavat kalirvai prithvim parakrantum na chashakat. So the meaning is that as long as Krishna's feet were touching the earth, that long Kali Yuga was not able to overpower earth. So the meaning is that Kali Yuga has already started when he was there, but it was not able to spread its power. He will start spreading after he leaves, and that's where Kali Yuga and Parikshit will meet. So there is similar sloka which came in first canto also. There are few places in Bhagavatam this statement comes. So that means Kali Yuga has already set in, but it was not ruling over it like now. So now Kali Yuga is in its power, which you can see around. So therefore people already became small. So Kali Yugam Viksha Praptam, he says Praptam Asannatvat Prapta Prayam Ityartha. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti, he comments that Praptam, that Kali Yuga has appeared. So he says that it was nearby, almost. That is the meaning. tapah shraddhayuto dhiro nisango mukta samshayah samadhaya mana krishne pravishad gandhamadanam. So he performed tapasya, being full of faith and without any attachment and free from all doubts. So he has obviously no more doubts. He had seen Krishna, Krishna spoke to him. So now there is no question of any doubt. So he was dhira, he was very fixed in his mind. And samadhaya mana Krishna pravishad gandhamadanam. He fixed his mind on Sri Krishna and then he entered to the mountain called Gandhamadana. So in the Himalayas there is one part of mountain beyond Rishikesh. If you go, it's near Badrikashram. That mountain is called Gandhamadana. The name itself says this, that there is so much strong fragrance there that if you go there you can faint. And this is the season because in the winter it's all snow there, but in the summer and the rainy season so many very wonderful flowers, they bloom in that area and the fragrance is very strong. So you can visit it, but people are not allowed beyond certain point because you can actually lose consciousness. I think there is a Gurudwara also. I think Guru Gobind Singh also went there, if I'm not wrong. So this is where Pandavas also went. We hear that story that Draupadi, she saw the one flower, Saugandhika flower. You heard that? The name of the flower was Saugandhika. Of course, it means very fragrant. It came from there. It was flowing down the river and she saw the flower. And she was very much attracted to this flower and she wanted. So she asked Bhim that please, this flower came, must be something above. So he goes there. And that's where he meets Hanuman. There's a place called Hanuman Chatti. If you go to Badrinath on the way, that's where he met him. The place is still there. So these stories are real, although many times people think that they are just made up stories. So he went to Gandhamadana. Basically, he's going to Badrikashram, you have to go through that way. And then Badari Ashramam Asadhya Narnarayana Alayam Sarvadandasaha Shanta Stapsha Aradhyad Dharim. So he went to Badrikashram, that is the ashram where Narnarayan sages, they are doing tapasya. There are two peaks of mountain, they are called Narnarayan Rishi, and that temple of Badrinath is there. So this is therefore called Narnarayana Alayam. This is the abode of Narayana. So Narayana Rishi is there, the presiding deity of Bharatvarsha. They are actually the presiding deity of this part of the earth. And they reside there. Now they are not visible, but even the mountains are named after them. Badrikashram. There is also ashram of Vyasa there. This last village of India is, I think, called Pana Gram. So you have to go beyond that. And there is a cave for a Vyasa. It's actually a huge piece of stone. And if you see it from far away, it looks like a book. Actually, the stone also looks like that. And there is also a place for Ganesh there, because Ganesh is the one who was writing Bhāgavatam. And the Saraswati river starts from there. And between these two parts of the mountain, the Saraswati river is very down. If you are on top of the mountain, you have to go like few hundred feet to cross it. But then there's a big piece of stone which is put there, like a bridge, and it says that Pandavas, when they were going to heaven, then Bhima, they could not cross the river, otherwise they have to go down and then again climb up. So he put this big piece of stone, you can see that. It's really massive, it's like a bridge. So that story is also there in Mahabharata. So that's where he went. So he says, Badriya Ashram Asadhya Nar Narayana Alayam. So, and Sarva Dvandva Saha. So he tolerated all the dualities of life, especially heat and cold. And Shantas Tapsa Aradhya Dharim. He was very peaceful and austere, and he worshipped Bhagavan Krishna in that place. So that is the story of Muchkunda, and that's all, and nothing more about him. So now it describes what did Krishna do. So it says, Bhagavan punar avrajya purim yavana veshtitam hatva malecha balam ninne tadiyam dvarakam dhanam. So then Krishna came back, and now he saw that the city of Mathura was surrounded by this army of Kalayavan. So he killed everybody. There is no big description. I think he doesn't want to spend too much time describing the war. So he killed all of them, Malechabalam, and whatever wealth they had, he took that wealth to Dwaraka. Tadiyam Dwarakam Dhanam. And Niyamane Dhane Gobhir Nirbhischa Achyuta Choditaihi Ajagama Jarasandha Strayo Vinshatya Nikapaha. And when they were just carrying everything, because most of the people were already transferred from Mathura to Dwarka, so there were some people remaining, and they were carrying the wealth in bullock carts, because it says Gobi, not by horse or chariots or anything, but with bullock carts. And Nribhi, and also human beings were walking, because bullock cart does not go very fast. It moves at the speed the human being can also walk along with them. So they were ordered by Krishna to do that. And right at that time, Jarasandha came there. So earlier, remember, when Kalayavan came, then Krishna said that it will be a big problem because Jarasandha will come here tomorrow or day after tomorrow. That's what he said. So Parasvova. So Jarasandha arrived with his army. And what is the strength of Jarasandha's army? How much? Anybody remember?
23 Akshobhini.
Yes, 23. So he came with 23 Akshoni, Anikapa. Anikapa means army. So now he has to decide. So he decides, he already killed, I don't know how many, he had more, right? Kalayavan had some 30, I think. So he killed all that, but he decided that's a lot of killing in one day. So now he decides to run again, because he has to now go back to that side only. So he says, why not just go? So therefore he says, Vilokya Vega Rabasam Ripu Sanyasya Madhavau Manusya Cheshta Mapanno Rajan Dudruvatur Drutam. So when they saw this big force of army of enemy, Ripu Sanyasya Vega Rabasam, they are coming with very big speed. Then Madhava means Krishna and Balaram, because they are born in Madhu dynasty. So they decided now, as like human beings, Manusya Cheshtam Apanno, they just acted like human beings. And what is that? Run for your life when in danger, right? Fight or flight. That's what they call, right? Fight or flight. So they decided not to fight but take a flight. So both of them, they ran, and they ran very fast. So previously only Krishna was running, now Balaram also runs with him. So both of them, they are in another marathon. He already got used to running anyway. So Ninya Netum Upchakrame Vegarabsam Vegodrekam. So he saw the big force coming and then he decides to run. So Vihaya Vittam Prachuram Abhitau Bhiru Bhitavat Padbhyam Padma Palashabhyam Cheratur Bahu Yojanam. So how did they run? Because they are going with a lot of wealth. So they were not fearful, abhitau, but they acted as if they are fearful. And when you are fearful, you drop all your wealth. He says, take this and leave us. And they ran with their lotus feet. Padma Palashabhyam Padbhyam. Cheratu, and they ran many, many miles. Bahu Yojanam. Yojana is supposed to be 8 miles, but not sure how much is it. Generally they say it is 8 miles. So they ran at least more than 8 miles. So this is what they did. So Manusya Cheshtam Apannau iti tasya svabhava eva ukta. So they acted like human beings. He says this is not that they were acting, but this is their svabhava, because they are human beings only. It's not that they were imitating somebody. Before also they lived as human beings only. So now also, it's just that they are not manifesting their supreme power. Otherwise they were like human beings, walking, talking, doing everything. Once in a while they will act like they are super humans, but other times they acted normal. So now basically they are behaving normally as human beings. That's what it means, Manusya Cheshtam Apanno. So he says, Tasya Svabhava eva ukta. He says this is their svabhava, and this is how they are. Natu palayanayam eva siddhanta. So he says it is not that this is a siddhanta only when they have to run. Means you should not think that only when they are now running, as if they are fearing, that they are acting like human beings. He says that this is how they were. It was that once in a while they will act superhuman, but other times they were only human beings. So now they are just being human beings. That's what he is saying. Manusya Cheshtam Apannatvepi Bahusa Sarvagyatva Sarvashaktitva Darshanat. So although they behave just as human beings, but many times they also manifest their Sarvagyat, their omnisciency and omnipotency. Tatra Priyajanasya Kashyapi Abhavat napi prem mogdhyam cha vyakhyatum shakyam. And here, when they are with their devotees, so with their devotees they don't manifest their Aishwarya, like with Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, maybe. So here now there was nobody like that. They are all enemies. So it is not that they are just being human beings because the enemies are there, therefore they are running. It's nothing like that. That's what he's saying. Napi bhayasya anukaranam eva etaditi vyakhyam. And you should not also say that they are imitating fear. They are also not imitating it. Khidyati dhir vidamapi iti uddhavokte. Because even Uddhava will speak, knowing Krishna who is he says, sometimes my intelligence becomes bewildered when you see that you are doing all these kinds of things. Like he's saying that you go and you stand in front of Ugrasena as if he is a big king and you are just normal person. So it was not that he was imitating something or anything. Just this is his Rāsa-līlā. His Narvapu. So he is Brahman in the form of Nara. Tasmad Durgashrayo atha aribhayat palayanamiti uddhavam evam tameva drishtva asya siddhantam gyashyati iti gayam. So he says only Uddhava will know what is his intention, that Krishna is taking shelter of a fort, is running by because of the fear of his enemy, and when Uddhava will see him, then maybe he can understand why he is doing it. So abhita iti bhaya bhavam prapta. So he is not fearful, or they both were not fearful, but Bhiru bhaya shilvan shilau anyo jano bhito yatha syat tatha bhito iti bhayam cha praptam iti virodha. But they appeared like that, as if they are fearful. Like common person will be fearful, like that they are appearing. So he says, therefore it sounds contradictory. Sukdev himself is making a contradictory statement. He's saying they are abhitau, and then he's saying bhiru bhitavat. Bhiru means coward, and bhitavat means fearful. They are fearful like a coward, but they are not fearful. So this is also niti. So in niti, they have sam, dan, bhed and danda. So when you have your enemy, so you have to weigh the power of the enemy. So if he is powerful, then you try to make friendship with him, try to please, satisfy, have a friendly talk, maybe he will not attack. Or give gifts, or break some people from his side, like Krishna was trying to break Karna, telling him that you are actually son of Kunti. So this is called Bhed. So creating faction among the enemies so that they fight. And the last one is Danda. When nothing works, then attack. So for the kings also there are different nitis described. They actually have names for that. That sometimes you sit down quietly, sometimes you surrender, sometimes you make friendship, sometimes you attack. So there is different types of niti according to how the enemy is. So if you read Hitopadesh or Panchtantra, this is described because kings have to know this. Any ruler, anybody who rules has to know this, how to deal with situation, especially the attack by the enemies which were common in the past days. Now also they happen all the time. You can see the war is going on. So in that situation, what is to be done? So that is also what Krishna is teaching. So for that, of course, one has to have a very good control over one's mind and especially one's ahankara. Because ahankara will tell differently. Especially for Kshatriyas, they are trained to fight and not to give up and this and that. That is true. But it should not be just blind. So that's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Niti Rasmi Jigishitam. He says, those who wish to be victorious, I am the Niti for them. Means without Niti, it is not possible to win. If the enemy is even of equal caliber, of course, if he is weak, then don't need much Niti, but still, even weak enemies, buddhi yasya balam tasya, nirbuddhastu kuta balam. Right? Even a jackal, he killed a big elephant. There was a pack of jackals and they saw a big elephant. One of the jackals said, do you want to eat the meat of this elephant? And he said, yeah, but how is it possible? This guy is so strong. He said, just wait. He says, it's not just physical strength. The real strength is the strength of intelligence. So he said, okay, let's see what you do. So he says, you guys go. I will take care. So after some time, he went to the elephant. His name was Karpur Gaura. And he fell at his feet. And the elephant looked at him. Of course, he go and pay obeisances to somebody. Already his ear goes up. So he says, yes. He says, sir, there's a big meeting going on. He says, meeting of whom? He says, all the animals of the forest are having a meeting. He says, meeting about what? He says they want to choose a king because without king it's very difficult. He says so. He says they have decided that you should be the king because you are most qualified. He says really? So now elephant is very happy that I am going to be the king. He says and they are asking you to please come there because they want to do abhishek for you. And this is the Muhurta. And if you don't come quickly, the Muhurta will be past. So Muhurta means auspicious time. So he says, okay, let's go then, let's not waste time. So the jackal is running and he is running behind him. And jackal has already prepared one ditch over which he had put grass. So he walked over it. And then elephant came running and elephant is heavy, he fell inside. So then he's calling, hey. So he came back, yes, boss, what happened? He says, I fell down here. He says, don't worry, I call my friends to pull you up. Means, I call everyone to have a feast. He said, just wait here, don't worry. So then he went and he says, okay, let's have a feast now. This guy is in the ditch. So he said, he showed that how even a weak person can kill a strong enemy by niti. So Krishna is also, he did one niti to kill Kalayavan and now he is doing another niti to fool Jarasandha. So palayamano tau drishtva magadha prahasan bali anvadhavad rathani kair ishyora pramanavit. So when Jarasandha, he saw these two brothers running away, so he laughed very loudly. He said, oh, finally these people have understood who I am. So he was defeated 17 times. Now he should have been, he If he was not proud, he should be thinking that why these people are running. 17 times they have killed my army. And why that they are running? Instead of that, he thought, oh, now they are afraid of me. So therefore he says, Prahasan, Bali, he was powerful definitely, but he laughed. So now he is laughing and he is running behind them. So he is following them. Anudhavat Rathanike. But he is not running by himself. He has chariots, horses, all the army is also running behind. Everybody is running behind Krishna and Balram. So, Ishayor Pramanavit. He says he is running after these two lords, not knowing who they are. So therefore he is called Apramanavit. Pramanavit means one who knows who they are, means what is their pramana, what is their strength, their prowess. So he is running. So pramanavit, pramanam yattam tanna veti iti tatha. So he does not know the extent of the power of Krishna and Balaram, and thus he runs behind them. So pradrutya duram samsrantau tungam aruhatam girim pravarshanakyam bhagavan nityada yatra varshati. So these two brothers, they ran for long distance, pradrutya duram, and then they felt little tired. So what they did is that there was this mountain which was very high. So they climbed up the mountain. And the mountain's name is Pravarshana because it's a rain mountain. It rains most of the time there. So therefore it got the name Pravarshana. So Bhagavan Nityada Yatra Varshati. So it says there that so most of the time it's raining there. So there are certain parts in India where it rains every day. Like in Assam, practically 365 days in a year. I think this is the most rainfall place in the world. At least that's what we read in school. I don't know now. Change of weather. Chirapunji. So Tato Gire, there is no comment on this. So anyway, he mounts on the Giri. He is used to going on top of mountain anyway, Giri Govardhan. Govardhan was also supposed to be high mountain in those days. Now it is going down every day because of Kali Yuga. Girau Nilina Vagyaya Nadhigamya Padam Nripa Dadahe Giri Medho Bhi Samantad Agnimutsrijan. So when Jarasandha reached the mountain, he could not see Krishna and Balram there. He searched, but how are you going to find somebody who disappears into the mountain? And on the mountain you cannot have chariots going up and horses going up. So he was not able to find, and he also could not see his footprints, which side he went, because on the stones no footmarks. On the land he could see and then trace him, but now could not. So what he did, he says, okay, they have gone on to this mountain, let's put fire to the whole mountain. Forest fire, Sansar Davanal. So he did it. I don't know how he did it, because on one side the mountain is called Pravarshana, means it's raining. So it will be difficult to put fire to that mountain. The wood will also be wet there, unless he brings some petrol from Arabian countries and pours it. How he is going to put fire? Maybe he broke some of his chariots and use that wood to make the fire. And how did he burn it? So dadahe giri medho bhi samantad agni mutsrijan. So he burnt the mountain with fuel or wood from all sides, putting fire. That now let's see how they will survive. And in the forest there is always some wood. The trees fall down, they get dry and they burn. Tata utpatya tarsa dahiyamana tatadubhau dasaik yojana uttungan nipetu radho bhuvi. So what did Krishna and Balaram do? That they were on the peak of the mountain. From there they jumped down towards Dwarka, because that's where they have to go. So this mountain is supposed to be 11 yojanas. So this is a different yojana. It cannot be 8 miles, because there is no mountain 88 miles. So yojana must be some different measurement. So from there they jumped down onto earth very quickly. Dahiyamana tatadubhahu. From where it was burning to the other side, they jumped. And he obviously did not see that, because he was on the other side. Alakshamano ripuna sanu gena yaduttamau swapuram punarayatau samudra parikham nripa. And he was not seen by the enemy and nor by his followers, because he had a big army, so nobody could spot them, because the army probably is one side, they are on the other side, jump onto the other side and go. And then he came to his own city, Dwarka, which was very safe. Punarayatau samudra parikham nripa. And that city had the sea all around it like a moat protection, so no one can attack him. No chariots can go, no horses can go, no infantry, nothing. You can go by boats, but there are high walls and they have people there, so it was not possible to attack him there. So finally he reaches in a safe haven, as they say. Okay. So now what he is thinking, that these boys, they got little commentary. Tato girehe dasha cha ekam cha yani tau tungat adha magad sanya sanrodha deshamatikramme parto nipetu. So what did they do? That they jumped from the top of the mountain, which was 11 yojanas high, and wherever his army was there, they crossed the army beyond that. Because if you are on the top, you can jump further distance. So high jump they took, and therefore they were not able to. And then by drone they reached Dwarka. Right? How would they reach? There was no boat, unless they swam. So they used the drone.
They walked on the water.
No, why? This is Rāsa-līlā, So they call Drona. Drona, you heard of Drona? That is the drone.
But in Mahabharata, it was Krishna's Akshohini Sainya that was lent to the Pandavas and Kauravas. So how they got out of Dwarka?
How they got out of the Dwarka? How they got in?
No,
You did not ask that?
That is what I don't know. How they came in, how Krishna's own army comes in or goes out there.
That's what I'm saying. First think how they went in, and by the same process they can come out.
Because it says they all, it just says they were shifted to Dwarka and the city was built, does not
So
mention.
he said that Krishna,
They just say Krishna is a brahmachari in the ocean.
he took them there, remember, overnight. So like that he brought them. Same process. They are used to it. They think this is also one way. So any questions? Yes.
Maharaj, in the previous class I had asked one question about that Brahma-Bhāgavata Purāṇa, where this verse comes and it could be the description of Bhauma Vrindavan. That's how. But then when we see the Sangati of verses there, Maharaj, so it's about Nitya Goloka. It's being described. So
what is described? I forgot. What was your question?
So the verse that little problematic was this, that that Laya Krishna Yutam, Laya Krishna Yutam, that Laya meaning Laya in Pralaya, everything goes inside Krishna, and Srishti Gopa Gopi Viravritam. And when there is creation, then again everyone manifests. And that's how the verses explain about Vaikuntha and also Shiva Loka. And the distance between them is also being explained there.
So it's talking about the laya of the Vaikuntha?
Yeah, during Laya, everything goes inside the body of Krishna.
No, that's what I'm saying. When you say everything, what does everything refer to?
Everything meaning the manifestation that's there in Goloka.
Is it clear like that it is about that? Because
Yeah, I think so.
What is the word used?
Understand.
You have the book?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, read. Read.
Yeah,
Hmm?
I have to locate Maharaj.
Okay, locate. Next, Narayanji.
Ram Maharaj, my question is that this Muchukunda, after having darshan of Bhagavan, why does he have to do austerity? Why not a limb of bhakti?
You say Bhagavatam, let me tell you something. Bhagavatam is book of bhakti. We know that. But it is also teaching different things. You also see statements which seem like Advaitvad. There is also Karma Kanda described. Prachin Barhi was doing yagyas. In 5th canto also descriptions. So Gyan Yoga, Karma Yoga. There is a lot of description of Varnashram system in Bhagavatam also. It's not that it's not Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is extracted from it. But other things are also described there. So according to Varnashram system, the principle or the theory is that if you follow your dharma properly, then in the next life you will be born to a higher varna. Means if you are a Kshatriya, then you will be born as Brahmana. If you are a Vaishya, you will be born as Kshatriya. And then when you are Brahmana, then you get moksha. So this is one of the belief or principles or theory of Varnashram. So it is to show that, because Shastra, Bhagavatam is also considered as Kalpavriksha.
Right.
So it satisfies everybody according to one's understanding. If you are a bhakta, you see this book as if talking only about bhakti. If you are a jnani, then this book If you listen to Advaitavadis, they will describe this book completely differently. If you read their commentaries, It's just like Gita. Many people describe Gita that it is only Karma Yoga. Like if you read the commentary of Tilak, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. If you read the commentary of Shankaracharya and his followers, and many of them have written commentaries, so then it is all about Advaitavada. And then there are Vaishnavas who have also written commentaries. They describe differently. So it is the same book, but different angle how you see it. So the Shastra is actually written like that. Otherwise, what happens that other people will say, well, we have nothing to do with this book, So these are, therefore Bhagavatam is, why is it that it is not called Krishna Purāṇa? It's like you have Vishnu Purāṇa, you have Varaha Purāṇa, you have Vaman Purāṇa, right? You have Narasimha Purāṇa. So why not call this book as Krishna Purāṇa? Because actually the book is about Krishna, most of it, 50% of at least. Out of 332 chapters, 90 chapters, 10th canto, and 11th canto, 33, these two cantos are just about Krishna. So, but it is called Bhagavat Purāṇa.
Right.
So Bhagavat means the book about Bhagavan. So now Bhagavan is not, people have specific ideas. So those who are thinking Bhagavan is Narayana, it is for them also. Those who think Bhagavan is Vishnu or Narasimhadev, it is for them also. And those who think Bhagavan is Krishna, it is for them. Those who think Bhagavan is Shiva, they also read it.
Yeah.
So therefore it is described that he was coming from Satyuga, he was following Varnashrama. Now he was a Kshatriya, he will be born as a Brahmana. And then Krishna himself said that after that you will come to me, means now he will have moksha.
Right. Thank you, Guru.
The verses that goes are Sadratna Rachita Sankhya Mandireh Parisovitam Laye Krishna Yutam Shrishto Gopa Gopi Viravritam. And
So Laye,
Laye Krishna Yutam Shrishto Gopa Gopi Viravritam. And just before that, Yogena Dhritamishena Chantarikshastitam Varam Adhi Vyadhi Jaram Mrityu Shoka Bhiti Vivarjitam. And after this is Tadadho Dakshine Sabbe Panchasat Koti Yojanat Vaikuntham Shivalokam Tu Tat Samam Sumanoharam.
yeah, but where is it saying that it becomes Laya? It says Gopi Bhivritam.
Laye Krishna Yutam. Laye Krishna Yutam. This would mean Yutam, meaning it would.
Krishna Yutam means with Krishna.
With Krishna. So Laye Krishna. Because just
Give
after
me
that.
the book. Give it here. You have to see whose Laya is it. Tadadho dakshine savve panchasat koti yojanat vaikuntham shivalokam tatat samsamanoram koti yojan vistrano vaikuntham mandalakriti. Okay, Laye Sunyam cha srishta ucha Lakshmi Narayana Anvitam Chaturbhujai Parshadaischa Jaramrityadi Varjitam Savye cha Sivalokam cha Koti Yojana Vistritam Laye Sunyam cha srishta ucha Sarp Saparshada Sivanvitam. So where is it saying that it becomes Laya? It's saying Srishti Laya. Srishtaucha Laya. When Srishti becomes Laya, Goloka Abhyantara Jyotira Tiva Sumanoram Paramaladakam Shashvat Paramananda Karakam. So Laye Sunye cha Srishta cha Lakshmi Narayana Anvitam Srishtau Layecha. I don't know why he's saying. He says that in the Laya time, it has Lakshmi and Narayana in it. And Chaturbhuja Parsadescha Jara Mrityadi Varjitam. And then he has his Parsadas with 4 hands. Even he is making translation, I think it is a mistake. During the time of dissolution, it remains deserted. And during the normal times, Vishnu and Lakshmi reside there attended by the 4 armed attendants. Why is saying that during this time? I don't see any distinction like that. Laye Shunyam cha Srishtau. Srishtau Laye Shunyam cha Lakshmi Narayana Anvitam. Says it is Shunya, but Shunya means what Shunya? Lakshmi Narayana remains there. That's what he's saying, but then he says Shunyam. Savyacha. Laye Shunyam cha Srishtau cha Saparshad Sivanvitam. Goloka Abhyantara Jyotir. His Parshadas are there, that's what he's saying. He is making a distinction that Laya and during the normal times, but there is no such distinction made here. Where is the distinction? Savya cha Sivalokam cha Koti Yojan Vistritam Laya Sunyam cha Srishtau cha. Okay, he's taking Laya and Srishtau as separate. But Laya of what? That he's not telling. What is the Laya of? When you're talking about Goloka here, so Laya of what?
Laya meaning during the time of dissolution.
Dissolution of what? That's why I'm asking. Here there is no talk of material world. It's talk of Goloka. Right? So what is the Laya? That is the important thing. Saying Laya cha Sunyam and Srishtau Lakshmi Narayana Anvitam Chaturbhujai Parsade. So if it is Sunya, then it can only think that it is just invisible, That's all, because he's not explaining Laya of what. That's why it is called Brahma Vyavarta. Vyavarta, you know what Vyavarta means? It's Vivarta. Vivarta means which looks different than what it is. Vishesh Rupena Vartata iti Vivarta. Okay.